Could we light a fire to make things a bit more cheerful? Said Julian, looking round. I wonder where we can find some nice dry sticks? Almost as if they were answering the question, a small crowd of jackdaws cried out wildly as they circled in the storm. Chack, chack, chack. Of course. There are plenty of sticks on the ground below the tower, cried Julian. You know, where the jackdaws nest. They've dropped lots of sticks there. He dashed out into the rain and ran to the tower. He picked up an armful of sticks and ran back. Good, said George. We'll be able to make a nice fire with those. Anyone got any paper to start it, or matches? I've got some matches, said Julian. But nobody's got paper. Yes, said Anne, suddenly. The sandwiches are wrapped in paper. Let's undo them, and then we can use the paper for the fire. Good idea, said George. So they undid the sandwiches, and put them neatly on a broken stone, rubbing it clean first. Then they built up a fire, with the paper underneath and the sticks arranged crisscross on top. It was fun when they lighted the paper. It flared up and the sticks at once caught fire, for they were very old and dry. Soon there was a fine crackling fire going and the little ruined room was lighted by dancing flames. It was very dark outside now, for the clouds hung almost low enough to touch the top of the castle tower. And how they raced by! The wind sent them off to the northeast, roaring behind them with a noise like the sea itself. I've never heard the sea making such an awful noise, said Anne. Never. It really sounds as if it's shouting at the top of its voice. What with the howling of the wind and the crashing of the great waves all round the little island, the children could hardly hear themselves speak. They had to shout at one another. Let's have our dinner, yelled Dick, who was feeling terribly hungry as usual. We can't do anything much while this storm lasts. Yes, let's, said Anne, looking longingly at the ham sandwiches. It will be fun to have a picnic round the fire in this dark old room. I wonder how long ago other people had a meal here. I wish I could see them. Well, I don't, said Dick, looking round half scared as if he expected to see the old-time people walk in to share their picnic. It's quite a queer enough day without wanting things like that to happen. They all felt better when they were eating the sandwiches and drinking the ginger beer. The fire flared up as more and more sticks caught, and gave out quite a pleasant warmth, for now that the wind had got up so strongly, the day had become cold. "We'll take it in turn to fetch sticks," said George. But Anne didn't want to go alone. She was trying her best not to show that she was afraid of the storm, but it was more than she could do to go out of the cozy room into the rain and thunder by herself. Tim didn't seem to like the storm either. He sat close by George, his ears cocked, and growled whenever the thunder rumbled. The children fed him with titbits and he ate them eagerly, for he was hungry too. All the children had 4 biscuits each. "I think I shall give all mine to Tim," said George. "I didn't bring him any of his own biscuits, and he does seem so hungry." "No, don't do that," said Julian. "We'll each give him a biscuit, that will be 4 for him, and we'll still have 3 left each." "That will be plenty for us." "You are really nice," said George. "Tim, don't you think they are nice?" Tim did. He licked everyone and made them laugh. Then he rolled over on his back and let Julian tickle him underneath. The children fed the fire and finished their picnic. When it came to Julian's turn to get more sticks, he disappeared out of the room into the storm. He stood and looked around, the rain wetting his bare head. The storm seemed to be right overhead now. The lightning flashed and the thunder crashed at the same moment. Julian was not a bit afraid of storms, but he couldn't help feeling rather overawed at this one.